Okay, here is the deal. I've got a bunch of other economic and war news I want to go over. Obama is set to give a speech, as you know, but they're set to release ahead of the speech the timetable for the war. I know they're past timetables. They will lie and say in 2 years they will look at reducing forces. Then in 2 years they will decide they need more forces. Then in 2 years when they say that, they'll say, but in 2 years we'll look at it again. And then in 2 years they'll decide more forces. Unless they've already attacked a new country and need to take some of those forces out, but the main force will never leave. So, there'll be 400,000 troops in between coalition troops, NATO troops, UN troops, British, U.S., which is the coalition, the Afghan troops. So they've gone from 100,000 to 200,000 to 300,000 to 340+ thousand right now with this latest 35,000, 34,000. There are two different numbers we're seeing being sent. And they'll say, oh, well, we're going to cut back to 300,000 in a couple years. Isn't that nice of us? And the wars never end. We've been in Afghanistan 8 years. In Iraq, we've been there for 6.5 years, never leaving. In Iraq, they were building giant bases, calling them embassies, that would hold 3,000 people per base. They're never leaving. And the internal Pentagon documents that are publicly available, but not put in the newspaper, they're saying we're going to be there in 2020. Our troops haven't left Korea, have they? Have the troops left Germany? Have the troops left Britain? Have the troops, we've got troops in 160 countries, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of bases. These aren't our troops. These are troops of the New World Order empire. And they use our bases to bring in narcotics and laundered money. Those are sovereign bases of the New World Order empire to bring in assassins, to bring in hitmen, to bring in child sex slaves. That's come out with the UN and our own government, and DynCorp and Halliburton, Chicago Tribune. That's what this is all about. Drug dealing, kidnapping, murder. And of course, 99% of the military, they're cooking dinner, carrying out the trash, cleaning their guns, pressing their uniforms, marching around the square. They're just doing jobs. But the commanders and the CIA and the intelligence units, they are running the real criminal operation. So these are globalist tentacles. And just like the global system has taken over America and used America to take over the world, it's the same thing happening in these third world nations. Obama wants Afghan war over in 3 years. See, they told me that CNN just announced that in mere minutes, Obama will release his new timetable. And I said 2 years. No, he says 3. So even longer. And in 3 years, that pushes him up into the next election. And he can promise then to maybe bring some home. And then you read, oh, it says they'll start drawing them down in 3 years. The new troop deployment would increase the total U.S. commitment to over 100,000 troops, bolstered by 45,000 NATO forces. And, of course, they don't mention all the other forces here. He's going to go to the West Point Military Academy later today to officially announce his plans. It will be his second escalation of U.S. forces in the war-torn Islamic country since he came to power in January. See, he's already put in an additional 40, but no one ever talked about that for the last 11 months. It was all, will he do a surge? Will he do a surge? To politically distract you from what happened previously. So we're going to go to Derek, Andrew, Ron, Joni, Brandon, and others, and then Colonel Craig Roberts is going to be joining us to go over a host of issues and the wider view on the New World Order. But I wanted to briefly bring Ted Anderson up, as we do most days now, to give us a gold report. He wasn't on with us yesterday. Gold is way up again today. And again, joining us is Ted Anderson. Ted, good to have you here with us.
Yeah, good to be up with you. Yesterday, real busy getting those spots running on Rush Limbaugh. It'll be great to have some of those neoconservatives order your endgame video and actually see what's going on in the real world. Maybe we can wake up a couple people. Man, I tell you, the dollar sure is crumbling today, and gold just went over 1,200, up as high as 1,202 today.
Unbelievable. Ted, let me stop you right there, because I meant to preface this with, scores of news articles that everyone I'm sure have seen where they're announcing gold mines are running out of gold worldwide. They have to mine more ore to get a small amount of gold. So the veins are running out. The production price is increasing. The Asians are buying it up. The Chinese, the Indians, the Japanese, institutional investors, big central banks are hoarding gold. The yuppies are starting to buy gold. We've been warning people as we watch the run up from $260 an ounce right up to $1,200 today. And for people that don't understand, when you look at the Dubai default and that country starting to go under, when you look at, which was supposedly the apple of everyone's eye, when I get up here on the radio and I tell people they are out of their minds if they don't buy gold and silver from Midas Resources that has the best prices out there that I've seen, bar none, it is such a no-brainer. And so I want you to comment on all these different factors, Ted.
Well, I mean, it's all that stuff is obviously a play in the marketplace. What happened this morning while we were sleeping again, the London market went up over $1,200 an ounce on gold. The Dubai thing was thought that might drive actual gold prices down, and it hasn't at all. Gold has gone up over $1,200 an ounce in London again while the United States is in bed. And now that the U.S. market has opened up, it went over 1202, corrected back into the real high 1190 range, and that's where it's sitting right now. Alex, this is too fast. I was expecting gold to be between $1,200 and $1,300 an ounce before we turn to January 1. I don't think, I think the chances are we'll be well over $1,300 just because it happened so soon.
Well, this is, again, a bad thing overall because this means they are planning to kill the dollar. There's no longer any denial. The IMF, the World Bank, the UN, our own government have said, before they were debating, should they kill the dollar? Now they're saying, how are we going to kill it? We are going to kill it. And it looks like they're going to engage in this accelerated but still incremental, but accelerating the incremental decline of the dollar, which will then suck other currencies down, and only real commodities like gold will go up. But gold isn't just a commodity. It's also seen as a portable hedge against inflation, and in times of uncertainty, gold isn't really going up. The dollar is beginning to die its long, painful death in front of us. I didn't ask you this question before I got you live today, Ted, before you pitch people this great opportunity, and I hope they take advantage of it, just like I did when gold was $260, $270 an ounce, and I was pitching it to people saying it was only going to go up because all the economic real data showed that. Last week, you said you were almost out of gold. You bought at the $1,050 level. Now gold is at $1,200. Tell us the last buys you did and what you have left, if any, at that super low price, or what your new low price is now that it's gone up.
Well, averaging at about $1,130 an ounce. I mean, I was trying to buy into the dips. I didn't get too many this last time around, and I didn't get to buy that much product. But one of the things that I picked up a couple of $1 million worth here a few months ago were those Walking Liberty halves, and I am at the very, very bottom end of what I have, and that was when silver was about 16. And right now, it'll be the very last day because anything I commit to today is going to put me upside down, so I'm changing it at midnight. And that would be the price of the Walking Liberty half. They're at $8.69 right now. They'll be well over $9 a piece starting tomorrow. So if you want to take advantage of something that's on its way up, there's a good buy for you.
So you made a mega buy of silver months ago. Silver is way above what you bought it for at that time. So you're literally, I've never heard of a deal that good on silver, but you're saying this is it. This is
Alex, I've been holding these prices since August. So that'll give you an idea of where it's been. Silver at that time was about $16 an ounce, and right now silver's at $19 and has been as high as $19.30 an ounce.
Okay, explain that to me. If you're selling silver at $8.60 what cents?
Presently, right now, it is the Walking Liberty half. They're at $8.69. And
okay,
you gotta remember,
so literally you're selling it for what silver costs right now, which nobody can ever do because there's the added price of shipping, and there's the added price of you having to buy it, and there's the added price of it being in coin form.
Right. Everything carries a bit of a premium, but this here is just like buying it at spot. I mean, it really is, because the Walking Liberty half is half the size of the U.S. dollar, and the U.S. dollar, silver dollars from the turn of the century right now are trading upwards. Right now, they're just poking into the $26 level a piece, and so these right now are just incredibly, I mean.
Ted, quickly, tell folks about the gold you've got left.